Hello everyone, this is Maria from mariascraftingcorner.com. Welcome to another Simple Stamping Sunday video. This is a pre-recorded video. I'm actually recording these on September 13th, so just the day before, after my live. And I am so glad you guys are here with me today and just thankful that you decide to spend a little bit of time of your Sunday, your busy Sunday probably, hanging out with me while we make cards. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and as such, I would love to spoil you with rewards and with gifts. So please visit my online store, which is at mariascraftingcorner.com, and you can just look into the many options you have to get some freebies, which I think free stuff is always amazing. Let me see. One of those freebies, I'm just gonna be businesswoman, is my free gift that you will get if you buy $50 or more before shipping and taxes. And you will get this set of masks this month. My free gifts change every month, and they are not attached to a host code. I just decided that that was not enough because I don't make a lot of sales, so it's just asking you to put something extra. As long as you're shopping with me, then I will get a notification that you are getting, that you got something, and I will make sure that you get your free gift. Okay. There are a lot of brand new products in the new catalog, in the new mini catalog, and in the online stores. And even, a newer kit, and I want to show you the kit because it's really cute. So this is just one of our regular Stampin' Up! Kits, and I'm saying that because there is another kit the Stampin' Up! Has as a paper pumpkin kit, and I make alternatives for that during the weekend. So you may want to hang out with me either Friday or Saturday. Sorry, those are not scheduled. But you can totally see how cute this is, and it does include, which is not showing here, but it does include like a palm tree and a cactus and whatever, just to kind of change the feel if you are in Arizona or if you are in Florida or California and there's really, pine trees is not the theme, right? I think I'm going to leave our announcements there, and let's get going to our crafting table. So the first thing is, what are we going to do today is a very simple card in its components, maybe. But we're going to be working in something that I really like, guys. And if you know me, this is a little cricket. Let me uncricket this a little bit so you guys can, let me see, move that way. Sorry, guys. But that's going to bother me all through. So we need to fix this before anything else happens. So I was saying, you guys know I love coloring. So let me ask you this. 2 questions. Do you have watercolors? And how often do you use them? Because if I have to be completely honest with you guys, I got these probably just after I started. So these are the older colors. It has a couple of colors that we no longer have, like the rich raspberry. But I think the rest of them are pretty similar. I think the new ones include pecan pie, and I think that's the only change. Pecan pie and and Bermuda Bay is here, so that would not be available again. So I guess I'm lying. There's 3. Rich Raspberry, Pacific Point, and Bermuda Bay are 3 colors that are no longer available. They are retired. And I am not sure what they have been changed into, but we can totally check together. to make sure that I give you the right information. Let's see if that logs in. In the meantime, have you used them lately? Because I bought them, like I said, right, probably a month or two after I became a Stampin' Up! Administrator. And guys, you can't laugh. I think I've used them like 3 times in total. So, okay, something's going on. You guys breaking in Stampin' Up! Online site? We'll wait for that to come in here. I think one of the colors that was added was Pecan Pie. I'm almost sure about that. And I just can't remember which were the other ones. But I'll tell you when that comes up. So like I was saying, I have not used them a whole lot. Maybe 3-4 times. I do prefer blends as my medium for coloring. And I have discovered using the inks, right, as a way to color. But I figured we need to use this. Okay, so this is the first thing we're going to be using today. We're going to choose them here in a minute. I'm still looking at my website, and for whatever reason, it's not popping up. My Stampin' Up! Just gave up. I don't know why. That's super weird. Okay, well, it may get there. So what are we going to be using today besides our stamping blends? We are going to be using our stamping blends, our watercolor. We're going to be using the blender pen. If you don't have it, I really recommend you get them. They come in a trio. This is brand new. They're so beautiful. I need to use them. And they last a very long time. So you may want to get this. They are awesome to use with inks. So, or just, you know, like your stamp pads. So I really love them. It's a really useful way to color, to color. So the other thing we'll be using is these autumn leaves. These autumn leaves, and this sentiment that says I'm thankful. And this one has like an extra, let me show you up here, an extra few smaller in font, and it says I'm thankful for all you do today and every day to have you as a friend. And I'm just going to put today and every day because I love that. So that's what we're going to be using from here. And this beautiful die that just will die cut, and I am hoping it fits. Actually, I have not even looked into that. Let's see, this is the one that says I'm thankful, so it seems like this is going to fit. So we'll probably end up using our Misty to get this done correctly. Then we are going to let's see, be using, here it is, this embossing 3D embossing folder is called Leaf Fall. It is still available. It marks a beautiful or creates beautiful falling leaves. And yes, guys, I absolutely love it. So what are we going to do? We're going to emboss this and color it. Now, because you do not have to see me coloring for a while, even if it's going to be quick, it's not going to be it's going to be boring to watch somebody coloring and coloring and coloring. Don't get me wrong, I love watching people that colors, but I'm not going to make you do that. But we're going to emboss this, and then I'll show you how it looks without any color, and then we'll start coloring. Let me bring my die cut embossing machine. And I mentioned these in our last stamping, simple stamping video. If you like die cutting, you definitely need an embossing machine. I completely recommend this one. It's amazing. This is the 4th plate, and this is the one that we use when we have one of these 3D embossing folders. We're going to go ahead and run this through. Oops, sorry guys, that was loud. We're going to put this away because we're not going to need it right away. I don't think we're going to need it at all extra. And let me show you how beautiful this looks. Isn't this gorgeous? So you can totally just use this as is. Of course you can. But we are going to create some magic using our watercolors, our blender pen, and we're just gonna color these. Now, I want to tell you that because of the color scheme that I'm using, I want to show you too that you can use it with the stamp pads and how to do that. So you guys ready? Let's go have fun. I'm going to leave these completely outside because I have already started. I figured again you don't want to see me for 20 minutes coloring. All that gets through. But we are going to start using a piece of early espresso. This is our regular 8.5 by 5 and 8 by 4 1/4. And okay, guys, I swear to God, I know this. This is 8.5 by 5.5, and we're going to score on the 8.5 side at 4 1/4. Okay, I'm putting this away, and that's that. We are going to cut another piece. This is going to be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this is just our first layer. I have a couple of layers, well, one other layer, because I just thought that this makes like a good contrast, and so it's just going to help us here. Now, the other piece we're using is this gorgeous paper from All About Autumn. I know that the paper is not available now, but you totally can do something completely different using your stash, right? Like, don't let that little detail turn you down. There's a lot. This is gorgeous, of course. There's a lot of other paper within Stampin' Up! Right now that you could get that it is very fallish, or you can use some of the beautiful stuff you have in your stash. Okay, so this is the other layer. This layer is another 8, and I had it already cut, and that means that this is 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so we have these pieces ready. Now let's bring the piece that we're going to be working on. Okay, guys, tell me this is not absolutely gorgeous. Let me bring this up here. So again, I had already started coloring because I did not want you guys to spend like all day long watching me coloring. But we're going to finish some of these here, or all of these here, and then we're going to make the card. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did all these, and I'm going to show you a couple of other tips and tricks. Sounds good? The first thing is we are going to choose our color. So this is the color that I was telling you guys that, I couldn't find it. So we're going to use our stamp pad to get to that color. We are using the crushed curry, and I am using that inspiration from, oops, maybe. Here it is. I swear to God, it's here. Okay, here's a crushed curry. I'm using that inspiration from that color palette that comes in the All About Autumn papers, right? They have beautiful papers, and they just have all these extra colors that are usually not necessarily fallish, but so there's the moody mauve, and it's obviously the wild wheat, but we're going to use the crushed curry because I think it works very well. We're going to use the old olive, since there's no mossy meadow in here, but we're going to use old olive. And this one is early espresso. So that's our color combo for this card. Let me bring. So here is old olive. Let me get early espresso, guys. Here's the early espresso, and the moody mauve, we're going to work with it. So I'm going to bring my moody mauve here so you guys see. And I am going to bring, whoops, this one's tough for whatever reason. Okay, I'm bringing one of my older blocks. You guys can tell that I completely ruined this. I don't even know what I did to ruin it, but it's fine. We use it for many things. And I am going to just get a bunch of color from the stamp pad. That way I put the stamp pad away and there's no danger. And the second thing, we don't damage the Stampin'. Our blending pens have a chemical in them, and it's not ideal for us to use it. I mean, to use like straight from the stamping pad, so don't do that. But we're going to come back here. So see, I'm just grabbing a little bit of it. I'm deciding which is going to be my next Moody Mauve, and I think it's going to be this one here, this little one here. Okay, guys, let me do this real quick. Let's make this a little bit closer so you can actually see what I am doing. Okay, so this is my leaf I'm going to paint, and so I'm just going with my Moody Mauve in those channels. I don't know how to call them, but through the embossing you have areas from the leaf, you know, that are deeper, that are in, and that's the area I'm going to be going through with the darkest. So I create that, you know, kind of ombre feeling. I'm going to come back here and make sure there's not a whole lot in there, and kind of go around with it through areas. I'm going to make it a little lighter because I don't know if you can tell, it's very, very dark. And I'm just grabbing, oh, you're not seeing, sorry. I'm just grabbing tiny bits and kind of put it back in there. So I have quite enough for my blender pen, but not enough that is going to not allow that ombre coloring feel. And all I'm doing, guys, is going through with it, coloring with it, not going through. And that's it. We have a little leaf colored in there, and I think it just looks wonderful. It looks very dark, but that's while the ink kind of settles in, and it ends up in that beautiful, beautiful Moody Mauve. This is also inspired, and is one of the reasons why I'm using this paper, right? Okay, so let's go with the other ones. I'm just going to grab these, and I am going to leave it there for 1 minute, actually. This is my, oops, sorry guys, this is my early espresso, and this one is early espresso, so I think I want to do this one early espresso. Let me move up here a little bit, and I kind of did the same thing using those channels, and I don't know how to call them better, guys. I am so very sorry. I'm just going with my pen where those are, and kind of really making sure that there is enough of the pencil or enough in there, right? Like it's really covered. Now let me tell you one thing. After that, I go with the pencil just like you would color regularly with a pencil, right? And kind of go around softly. Now I am going to tell you this. I cannot see very well where this is at. Like I can see, but it's not very clear to me what it's at. Like I am not lying to you guys. It's very hard for me to see this. So what I decided, and I've been doing this for a little bit while I did all these, and the first card that we're going to share, that I'll share with you here later, is I actually, with the blending pen, kind of went around the edges first to define the edges so I could see what I am actually doing. In this case, because I'm getting a little creative, I'm bringing a little bit of the, oh, you didn't see me. So I'm bringing a little bit of the ink of that Moody Mauve, and I am going to go over it around. And then it is so bad that I can't even see that way. And so what I did is I hold it like this to me, so I can actually see where that embossing folder is. If you, the embossing folder, where that embossing is. If you don't have problems with your eyes and you're perfectly seeing what you're doing, by all means, you can skip this. But this is for those of us that have older eyes. Now I can put that back in. And now that I have, you know, all that, the outer side kind of framed in, I know where I have to paint. And now, or where I can color, or the extent of my coloring, right? I'm going to go with my blending pen, and we're going to blend this all together. See, I didn't do anything special here, except making sure that I was able to see the sides. Now, I am not perfectly happy with that side so much in Moody Mauve, so I'm just bringing a little bit more of the early espresso and going around with it in a way that I make sure that these covers, that the early espresso is covering that Moody Mauve. Okay, so see that, like I'm just kind of mixing and matching in a way that it will look all together. And then that's it. That's all you have to do. Do you have to use two colors? No. Look at most of these don't have two colors. There's one like this one that has two colors, and I'll show you what I did to get there. So every time you use your blending pen, the idea is that you have to clean it on the side, right? If you're going to change colors. I'm not cleaning it very much because we're going to go with the next color, and that next color is going to be, I'm going to go with the green. So this is the Old Olive, and I am going to color this big leaf in here, making sure I'm in your camera view. And we're going to do the exact same thing. So on the exact same thing, on those ridges that the embossing folder created, we are just like using our pencil and really filling them in, filling them not perfectly, but in. And then I'm going with my pencil again around those areas, just around here and there, and we're going to do the exact same thing. So technically speaking, because I did not clean my blender, this should have a little bit of that brown, and that's how I created this, and we'll see if this works for here too. Not really. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here through that spine of the leaf. I'm like grabbing a little bit of that color of, you know, of the Old Olive, something like that. So I am just delineating this leaf so I know what I am doing or where I need to go, right? And once I have that, I go back in here and I focus a little bit in the center first, and then I expand to the outer side, kind of trying to create that ombre look, and that looks so beautiful. Come on, guys, look at that. So simple. We did not do anything special here. All we do is filling out those ridges with the color pencil and then color, and it's so simple. Let's go with the crushed curry. So I'm going to get this one in here in crushed curry. And let me see, this way. Same process, going through those ridges in there. I say filling it out, but just use your color pencil to go through those, how you call them, veins? Oh my gosh, I miss you guys when we're not live. You always translate for me what I don't know. But that's what I did. Look at that. It's very, very simple. I'm not even really going to color around like I've done on this one because this is a smaller leaf. Now, I do need to go like this to grab some of that color, and we are going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go around with my blender pen, trying to get a little bit of that definition that I really can't see well around, and I'm just holding it towards the light. That's what I'm doing, right? And now we're going to go ahead and kind of go into the middle and spread the watercolor that is in the pencil, right? Isn't this so simple? I'm sorry I'm not doing a very good job at explaining. I feel it's not clear, but look at how easy that is. So I did notice that I did not finish this. This little branch is from this leaf, and we'll have to finish that one. Now we have one last branch in here, and I think that needs to be green. And so I'm going to, I don't know if you guys can see, it's right here towards the edge. So I am going to do the same thing, right? get my watercolor there on those ridges. I'm even having a hard time looking here, watching or seeing here, sorry, the actual area. And I'm going to go with that. And I'm going to color a little bit because this is a bigger leaf. Not as big as this one here, but I'm just going to use some extra color in there. And now we're going to do, guess what? Yes, the exact same thing. I'm going to kind of grab a little bit of color with that. And I'm going to go around my leaf so I know kind of where the boundary for my coloring is. And I can see a little bit here and a little bit there, right? Okay, see how simple that is? I'm going to bring a little bit of my extra of my pencil here. And now we're going to kind of go what I was saying, just start from the center and kind of spread towards the outside. And the same here, start at the center and spread towards the outside. Okay, and that is it. Isn't that super simple, guys? I am going to bring a little bit of this color to finish this leaf that I did not finish, which is not cool, right? It needs to be well finished, I guess. And the second thing is I think I saw something else. Maybe not. So let me show you. See how it leaves like little marks in there? So that's cleaning. I'm cleaning my pen there. I'm just going to bring the yellow one. There is a tiny bit in here. It's like a tiny piece of a, oops, it's not focusing. There it is. A tiny piece of the leaf. And so I'm just going to color with the pencil and just go around. There's not a whole lot, but it's there, so I want to not leave anything uncovered or uncolored. Okay, all that is going to go out of the way. I'm bringing my block here to my chamois, and I am going to clean this because it's the easiest thing to do. Not that that poor block needs it because it's in better days, guys. Definitely, there's no way out about that one. But this is our panel. Now, the other one I did, I kind of, now I think we can, sorry guys about my reach, but I think now we can zoom out a little bit. I did kind of use my blending brushes to go around this to kind of soften the edges, and we're going to do the same thing. Now, the early espresso is a very dark color, right? So we are going to do kind of a mix and match, and you'll see. So I'm going to use this one of the small blending brushes. I'm going to bring my, I should have had this ready, but I have it here. So I have one dauber, right? So I'm going to bring my dauber and I'm going to go around the edges. And you can totally not do this. I just want to give it like a little vintagey look. But you see how dark the early espresso is. When we used it in our watercolor pencil, it's a little lighter, definitely a little lighter. And so it really is actually very beautiful because it has like a redder tone to it, and I love it. But here, the early espresso is always very dark. And so we're going to do very softly around the edges with our early espresso. Now, without inking, see how dark that is. Without inking or re-inking, I am going to actually bring, I think I want to bring my pecan pie or crumb cake. I think I'm going to bring crumb cake, guys. Let me bring my crumb cake. Oops. Okay, here's crumb cake, and I'm going to use my small blending brush. I'm going to go around here so I see what colors. This brush has been used with many other colors or other browns, and you can totally see, right? That is crumb cake. If I really push, I get like kind of a combination of colors. So I have to be mindful with this, but I think I got it. I'm just kind of cleaning in here so I get the actual color I want, which is our crumb cake, and that's good enough. Okay. I I think my crumb cake is needing some inking, guys. Okay, so I'm going to put this a little bit away, and we're just going to go very, very softly around the edges. And notice that I am starting far away from my card base here, right? So there, and then I come here. First, I kind of clean it off a little bit. Another bit, another cleaning, and then come here. That way I get exactly the look I want, which is a softer brown on the edges. And we have one more. Okay. There it is. Isn't this super simple? But this is really beautiful. I'm going to put a little bit more here. And now you can just decide if you want it darker, if you want it lighter. I don't want it much darker than this. So I'm just kind of going over, making sure that it's kind of even around. But this does give that look of like vintage and older. And somehow my stamping pans are a little bit rebellious today. Okay, I'm going to put these out on the side so they're not on top of me. You can do this with your scissors. If you're going to use your scissors, make sure you're using old scissors and not the scissors that you just got to cut. These are my newer scissors, so I'm not going to do this. There is a tool. Don't ask me for its name because I don't know its name. I actually have two of them because I really, really like them. I know this is from Tonic. You can tell I've used this many, many times, and it's kind of old. Yeah, I think it's from Tim Holtz. But you can totally use your scissors. Again, if you're going to use your scissors, use older ones so you don't take the sharp out of it. And we are going to go around all the edges, and we're going to create like some distress, well, not some. We're going to be distressing the paper here. And so what happens is that darker early expresso edge is kind of like now divided, and you can see it kind of popping up. I don't know if you can tell. It looks so cool because it looks like darker, but it's not the same dark edge, right? So we are going to do some extra here around. So we're going to do this all around our cardstock. I used to do this with my scissors until I found this a long time ago. And so you can totally do this with the scissors. Just be a little bit mindful because they're a little bit more sharper. They're sharper, and so you will, I mean, you'll definitely struggle a little bit getting that, you know, with different cuts if you're not mindful. But that's all we did, is doing some stressing. Let me remove that out of the way, otherwise I feel we're going to be suffering. Okay, so this is our kind of background that we just created. Is going to go on top of this, and guys, I have to say this, it looks gorgeous. I'm going to bring the same tool and do the same. So I'm going to keep consistency all over my card, right? It's not going to be like one nice look and then one clean cut and then the other one is distressed, right? I feel like you need to definitely do it all over. Oops. And I know this is white, and so I'm going to bring real quick my blending brush, and I'm going to go around with it, really without inking or re-inking, and because it has a little leftovers, and we're just going to keep going a little bit. I don't care about this because all this is going to be covered, right? I am making sure that those edges have a little bit of that brown, so it looks colored. And I'm going to go ahead and color this. Why didn't I do the early espresso here? Mainly because this is going to go against the early espresso cardstock, right? And I think it doesn't need it. Okay. There we go. And now it's an adding layers moment. So I do have, let's see, this is going to go here and this is going to go here, and this is how our card is going to look. I do have a piece of ribbon. This is an older ribbon. This is the only one I have now that actually matches. The other one is these beautiful, this is the 2022, 2024 in colors, and this is a parakeet party, but I just feel that it's too shiny and the whole vibe is less shiny, so I didn't want to do that. And so I have a couple of others that could have been, and these are old, again, older ribbons that are retired, so I decided to go with that one that has a more rugged feel to it. Yes, I did think of using our let me see here, our older one, so the one that actually comes with that, but I'm still struggling a little bit with the thickness of it. And you know, now that I can think of it, like, I actually like the color. I am not sure. Let's glue this first, and then we can make that decision. I'm gonna bring my Stampin' Seal Plus, and we are going to add this to our next layer. These papers, so these layer, this frontal layer, the one we colored, is 1/4 of an inch smaller, if I'm not mistaken, from this one, because of course I wanted to show some of that beautiful, beautiful paper. And so that it's 1/4 inch smaller, and then we're gonna bring the other layer, and this is again just an 1/8 smaller, and because this is an 1/8 smaller, it's kind of like, and we did that distressing of the paper, it just like it fits snugly in. So let's bring our card base. I'm going to bring our card base, and I'm going to go ahead and use my bone folder here. So this is how our card is going to look. And so see what I was saying, we didn't really need to create that blacker or darker color in here because it has the black against. Let's cut a piece of these. And sorry, I'm doing that off camera. And see if, I think I'm going to go with this, guys. So we are going to put this in here, and then we'll put our sentiment on top of this. So this was quite a big piece I cut. Let me see. I'm sorry I'm cutting this off camera. And if you don't, you should get your own, how would I call it, your own scissors for fabrics. I used to have some older scissors, and I see them there. I just didn't have them handy. So what I usually do to make this the exact same way, and I just feel it's fine, is I just hold it together and turn it around, and then I know more or less where it needs to go, right? And I'm going to bring, since this is thick, I'm going to bring a couple of these like that. This is still too long, I think, I feel. So I'm going to cut this. Okay, this again, these are older scissors that I have there too, so I don't ruin my snips, right? And then I'm going to go with this. Yeah, I think I like it, guys. We'll leave it. We are going to leave it, guys. Sorry, not totally decided. Well, while I decide this, we're going to go ahead and bring my Misty. We are going to stamp the sentiment just in the meantime while I make my mind up. So I'm going to bring that in here. And here's the Misty. I'm bringing my die, so it's a guide. And here is I'm Thankful, right? So this should go in there. And I think this would go together, but it seems like it doesn't. Like it doesn't fit in here, which was my my hope. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stamp these together, and we'll just cut it by hand or with the trimmer, not by hand. Let's not get that excited. I'm making sure that it's not centered, that is straight. Sorry guys. And I think I want these in Moody Mauve. I'm thinking about this, guys. Sorry. So let's go ahead and ink that one. We'll get that one there, and then I'm going to bring before I do anything else, I'm going to bring my very well loved chamois and clean that so there's, no damaging. And I'm going to bring my Today and Everyday, and I'm going to put it right down below. This will look amazing stamped. In Versamark ink is what I'm trying to say. And I think that's straight enough. It looks like it is. And I'm going to bring again my Moody Mauve and color it. Oops. And you guys can see it's a very, very small, and I made a couple of messes. So hopefully it does stamp well. It did, guys. I'm so very excited. Okay, I'm bringing my chamois because this is like a disaster waiting to happen. It was all over my chamois there just because I did not do that very well. Okay, so we're going to get our chamois out of the way, our Misty out of the way. I'm going to try to do this. It does fit, Maria. I was being kind of not keeping the faith in here. I should have done this differently then, but since we did not, that's it. Okay, I'm bringing my embossing machine. And here is Maria saying we were going to be like done in 2 seconds, and we're not. But we will be done. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so I actually also told my husband I was going to be done in like 20 seconds, and here I am. So he's probably thinking the same thing you guys are thinking. It's like, yeah, Maria, whatever. So I'm just going to go ahead and get this through. Oops, there it goes. We're going to cut that, or die cut that. And that was like a little harder, but we got it. And even, guys, if I have some space there, I just feel that's so bulky. I don't want it there with me. So this is going to be the decision moment for this. Do I want this in here or do I want this in here? Well, I do think that it does bring some depth to this. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my dauber without re-inking, and I'm going to definitely go around this very softly, because you cannot have kind of one really vintagey look and again not keep that around, or keep that consistency around. I'm going to kind of put a little bit of that in here, and with that I'm going to go around with my blending brush super quick, and now we have something that matches the rest of the card. And so I think that, guys, I don't know. Sorry, you guys are not seeing. I am not sure what I want in here. I think I'm going to leave it as is. I don't know. I can't. Let's do this first. I need to try this without that. See, I just think this needs to be without that. I know, guys, I know I can't make my mind sometimes as easy as I would think. I'm going to bring some dimensionals here, and we are just going to pop this up in here against this, and then on top of these like leaves like that, and I think it's much of a better decision. Okay, yeah, I like that better. I can't help it, guys. So we are going to just use, that to glue this. And we are going to glue this on our front. And that is our card, guys. I was thinking of doing the front, the inside, but you know, I just really want to keep it under 50 minutes at least. And so I was thinking just using white. And so, oh my God, look at that. It's so dirty. And some of that beautiful paper, this is just leftovers. And you can totally use that one or this one or even a combination of these to match kind of the outside. But that's it, guys. We have done a gorgeous job with just using our watercolor pencils. And I'm bringing my Take Your Pick. And I think I want to use these actually, because they will pop very, very well against our color in there. And I think I want these two like there, and then I am going to bring a couple around here just because it matches so well like the falling leaves. Maybe one more around there and one more around up here. Yeah, there, I think. So we have like the falling leaves with some extra gems and then just these here framing our sentiment. Okay, so this is your first card. Let me bring you the next one, which is the one I've already done. And as you see, it's the same concept, exactly the same concept. This one is using a different kind of colors. Base is old olive, and then yes, I'm using some of that beautiful paper, but you can barely see it. So that was a mistake for me. I think that you totally need to kind of expand on how beautiful that paper is. This is crumb cake. All has been distressed just the same. And I did use the shiny copper one here. I think it would just really match the colors. And yeah, I didn't do the inside, but these are your cards for today. I do hope you enjoy this new technique. You're coloring your embossing folders, creating your own DSP, and we didn't use but a little die and the stamp, and you could totally have avoided the die like I did here. I just cut this. I did not do anything with it. And yeah. Guys, I sure hope you like this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. It helps me immensely here in YouTube, or like it on Facebook. And I think that this is a great option for you to expand and use your watercolor pencils, your blender pen, and make the most out of those tools that are, you know, right there for us to use. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and hopefully you are having a restful weekend and you're getting all energized to work on for the coming Monday. Let me come back up here. And I hope, guys, you have again a wonderful day and happy Sunday. See you Tuesday. Thank you.